Welcome to NuttieBuddie Sports. Previewing the New York Jets.
The first team we're going to talk about is the New York Jets. So last year they finished 4-13. So for you, Avery, what is the big question surrounding the New York Jets?
I think it's the same question that surrounds the Patriots as their rookie quarterback last year. How does he take the next step? It's not the next leap because really there's not quarterbacks that take a leap. They take a step forward. Every year is a progress, or you take progress forward. So can Zach Wilson build that chemistry with his pass catchers? Can he be protected by his offensive line? Can the offensive coordinators and coaches build a game plan around him that suits his abilities? But to me, the biggest question is, can he build that chemistry with the pass catchers? Corey Davis, he missed all of last year with an injury. They brought back Braxton Berrios. They added Garrett Wilson in the draft. They added CJ Uzama in free agency. You get your second year of Elijah Moore. So they've got talent. They've got weapons. Where it matters is just building that chemistry and seeing if it'll fit.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with that. It kind of leads into my big question too, is will we see progression? Not just from Zach Wilson. I think that's the biggest question, right? Is the quarterback, but just by any of the players they drafted, the coaching staff, they're supposed to be building a culture. Are we going to start to see that culture come into play this season, where what they're trying to build, the progression of these young players? That's my big question for this season for the Jets.
Yeah, and I would say that, like, with Robert Saleh coming over, he's a defensive-minded guy. Can they make that team a defensive forward team? I don't know. I don't see enough talent there.
Right.
But it's more of building a scheme and then putting the right players into that scheme. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Which brings me, I had an additional question I wanted to ask you, but since we are already talking about Robert Saleh, let me just ask you this question. If there isn't notable progress with the Jets, if they maybe even finish worse than they did last year or whatever, which would be hard for 4-13, or even if they end up 4-13 again, do you think Robert Saleh gets another year with the Jets?
I think he should. I don't know if that means that he's going to. I think when you put a lot of draft capital into getting a young quarterback at pick 2 and they go out and they get Zach Wilson, I think consistency means a lot more than what people give it credit for.
No, I agree.
You need a consistent coach. You need a consistent offensive coordinator. And if that doesn't bode success, you don't want to ruin your quarterback by having him lose all the time. But there's something to be said about going from college and stepping up to the NFL game because it's so much faster that you need some sort of consistency.
Yeah, no, I agree. I usually have a 3-year rule, unless if there's like a noticeable decline with the team, a 3-year rule with coaches. So I would like to see him one more year, but I'm with you. And he didn't get really a talented team. They're rebuilding completely. So from last year to this year, but yeah, I just thought I'd throw that question at you. Okay, let's talk about our favorite move, whether it was in draft or free agency. Avery, what was your favorite move this offseason for the Jets?
It's got to be the draft as a whole. I think they really crushed it. They had a lot of good picks, so it's pretty easy. But you get Sauce Gardner with your first pick. You come back around, you get Breece Hall. Their running backs, 1-2, their 1-2 punch looks pretty good with Michael Carter. I think that's something that can be effective in the long term. So that's what I would say. If they can build a good offensive line, they've got talent around them.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I actually put draft as well, so it's not like we were on the same mindset there. Not only, they get Wilson, you got Garrett Wilson, so you're getting more target, somebody that Zach Wilson can target. You're getting him weapons around him, and then they get that Jermaine Johnson, which I guess he was kind of a steal because he was supposed to go in the top 15, 20-ish, and they got him at 26. So that was I would say my favorite moves that the the Jets made was all draft. It was such a good draft, one of the better drafts in the league.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Least favorite move, whether it's draft or free agency.
I had a hard time picking one because I didn't really think that they made too many bad moves.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I could think of is signing 2 free agent kickers. I
Okay.
think if you're gonna sign a kicker, just stick with one, and if he sucks during the season, cut him and bring somebody else in. I don't see the need to have a kicking competition at any point before the season actually starts. Just stick with one guy.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah. And that's like really, I mean, if that's the worst thing you can say about a team, that's a pretty good offseason, right?
Yeah.
I had just making so it's more of what they didn't do. I felt like they should have. I know they signed Lincoln Tomlinson, but with the news with Mekhi Becton, sounds like he might be out for the year. Maybe they're really worried about that. Just not making offensive line more of a priority in the offseason. That's what, I love their draft, but that's one thing that I kind of hit on their draft when I did a review on it, is just the fact, like, you got this young quarterback and your goal should be to protect them, protect that quarterback. And you can have all the pass catchers in the world, but if, the offensive line isn't giving him time, it's not going to matter.
Yep.
So just that would be like my least favorite move, is just that they did not prioritize offensive line a little bit more, that I feel like they should have put a little bit more emphasis on.
I think that's fair. I put my notes down here before I saw the news about Mekhi Becton. I think with him going down, that's a huge loss to that team.
Yeah. That's tough. That's a tough way to start the season. Okay, let's go on. What will make the season for the New York Jets a success or a failure? So what do we need to see from them? And if we don't, it's either a success or a failure.
I touched on it earlier, but it's all about Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You put so much draft capital into your guy. Can you see that step forward? Can you see those flashes? Last year he had flashes. He had a really long run. He had some great throws. I mean, he showed you a little bit of flash, but you want to see more of it. You want to see more consistency. Can he take that next step? And if he can't, then what do? You kind of got to move on to your next guy and realize that he's not your answer.
Do they still got that backup quarterback, that White, that had that, like, that when Wilson was injured, he had like that 2-week stretch where he like played really good and then he got injured? I think it's White, right?
So. I think that he played against Buffalo and they destroyed him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. He had that one. Okay, it might have been just one good game, and then But to be fair, Buffalo's really good. So I'm on the same wavelength as you. I put progress. That's that will determine whether the Jets have success this year or not. Go ahead, Avery.
They signed Joe Flacco, so he was their backup this year.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, but I guess beyond Joe Flacco, if everybody else can progress, because obviously he's not going to at 37 years old. But that I'm with you. The progress of the team, that's so important. So even if they finish 4-13, but their games are more competitive, they look more competent. I kind of like sort of like the Detroit Lions did last year. Like, even though they were one of the worst records, they like most of their games were pretty competitive. That would be a successful season to me for the New York Jets.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Okay. Any additional questions?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, perfect. I only had the one on Salah. So let's do our we're going to predict over and unders this year. So we're going to have a little fun with this. So the over under that I found, I can't remember the source. I probably should have wrote it down, but it was 5.5 wins for the Jets. So do you have over or under 5.5 wins for the Jets?
I'm taking the under. I'm going to go 5-12 on their overall record. So I'll take the under.
Perfect. And me and you, same page. I had the under. I also had 5-12. So, same page on the Jets.
Sweet.
Okay, let's move on to the Miami Dolphins. Thanks so much for watching this clip of NuttieBuddie Sports. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, click on one of the links down below. And if you want to give us your thoughts on any team in any division, let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.